Hey everybody, my name is AJ Morris and I'm the Product Innovation and Marketing Manager here at iThemes. I just wanted to take a quick moments of your time before we start this video on how to create a membership site with Restrict Content Pro. Now this video was done over on Facebook Live. I ran it last week during one of our Facebook Live Q&As. We didn't have anybody that really came in with any questions, so I thought, hey, we're doing and talking about membership sites this week, so let's just kind of look over my shoulders as I build out a site using Restrict Content Pro. It was a fun video, fun time with Facebook, and what I wanted to do was just kind of give that to you over here on the YouTube channel. So really what you're going to see is that video. You're not going to get to see the comments or anything, but you can always go over to Facebook to see it. You could always watch it in a little bit better high def video content. Unfortunately, when you download the video from Facebook, they don't give you that high def video. So you're going to get a little bit of a grainy quality here. I apologize for that. In the future, I'll try to remember to record the video locally so that I could also post it over here to YouTube. But in either way, I want to make sure that you get the content in whatever medium you are interacting with. So that's why it's coming up over here on the YouTube page. Now, if you are finding this video through a search engine or whatnot, make sure you thumbs up, like, click the little bell in YouTube, all those things to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also head over to facebook.com/iThemes. That's ITHEMES. You can find us over there. We're always talking about different content to really help you build a freelance business on top of WordPress. So we're really grateful that you're here, you're joining us, and without further ado, check out this video on how to create a membership site with Restrict Content Pro. So we're going to go ahead and get started here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Restrict Content Pro and setting up a site using Restrict Content Pro for your membership site. So there's a couple of things that you need to be aware of. Let me log out of here a second. And I want to show you kind of a breakdown of price of what does a membership site cost you when you start thinking about building one. The first thing that you need to have is hosting. So there's plenty of hosts out there. Here at iThemes, we have our own hosting solution. So you can go to iThemes.com/WordPress hosting and check out our hosting plans down here. Through April 30th, you can even save 30% off. So that's a good savings for you. And if you're just getting started, you don't have any sites, this 2-site plan is a good plan to get you started. Especially not knowing, how many customers or how many members you're going to have on your site, and so you can get this for as little as $11 per month right now. So once you have hosting, you can kind of check that off the list. You're going to be at $11 a month for hosting with us. That said, there's plenty of other places to get hosting. You don't have to use iThemes for hosting. But I will tell you that when you do purchase iThemes hosting, you also get Backup Buddy and iThemes Security Pro as well. So you really get a full-featured host there. So $11 per month right now, and you're going to be able to walk away with hosting. Looking at the next item that you are going to want to purchase is a membership plugin, and today we're looking at Restrict Content Pro. If you go over here to pricing, they are going to start at $99 per year. This is going to give you one site and a bunch of extra add-ons. All of the extra add-ons are really to help you with different payment gateways, different email marketing providers. There's a few things like a job manager board or hooking into easy digital downloads. But otherwise, for the most part, you're gonna see there's a number of free add-ons you can use. If you go towards the professional plan, or hey Adam, how you doing? If you go towards the professional plan, you get a little bit more pro add-ons. You can go in and you can do things like group accounts, so you could sell corporate accounts to your membership site. You could drip out content. Those are two really big features that you get with the professional or ultimate license models. Custom redirects is really great. You can use a custom redirect to kind of redirect your users to different spots depending on what membership level they have. And so there's a number of other items in here. You'll get ConvertKit if you use ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, and so forth. So for $99 a year, this is where I would recommend that you start, is just getting that. So you're talking to start a membership site right now, you're at $99 a year for Restrict Content Pro. And if you use iThemes hosting, you're at $11 a month. And some simple math there, we can say $132 roughly for hosting. So there's your prices to create a membership site. Moving from there, and I'm not going to go through this purchase process. I already have a Restrict Content Pro license. I purchased the Ultimate version a while back, and so I have this installed. We're going to go ahead and get into Restrict Content Pro here in a second, but we really want to also look at themes. And so for themes, one of the places I look at, especially to keep our cost down, is free themes. And my favorite kind of go-to free theme is Astra. So we'll go ahead and install that. And I'll show you why we're going to do this one in a second. But I need to also add a plugin with Astra. And we're going to do a search for Astra Sites. So Astra Sites, there is a free plugin that gives you a kind of a ready-made site that's pre-built, ready to go. All you have to do is kind of import it into your site. So you can see in terms of plugins that I'm installing so far, I've got Restrict Content Pro installed, and that's just at that point it's just installed. And then I have this starter templates, and this works with Astra. So let's go take a look at starter templates. And one thing that you'll see about Astra is that they work with all of the page builders. So if you're an Elementor person or Beaver Builder person, you can pick one of those. If you really want to use the new block editor, aka Gutenberg, you've got that as an option. And then there's Breezy, and I've actually never used Breezy, so I can't even speak to how well or how bad, good or bad, it's indifferent to me. I typically use Beaver Builder and Gutenberg. Those are the two that I go for. So I'm going to head over to Beaver Builder and select that as my option. Now, what the starter sites does is it has selected Beaver Builder, and so I can see all the templates that Astra has designed for Beaver Builder. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is it's great to look at this, and if you see this agency indication right here, this is a paid premium template. So they're trying to upsell you on their product, and it's totally acceptable, and I appreciate their ability and the way that they do it here. But I'm trying to save us some money, right? And really try to save this at as cheap as possible, especially in the time of COVID-19 and all of our stay-at-home orders. Creating a membership site can be incredibly useful. So I'm going to go to all, and I'm going to choose the free option down here. to see what free option of sites I have to select. And you can see that they have a ton of options for you. So if you look through these, you can see what if you're not creating a membership site, you might want to use Astra and these sites templates for something else that you're doing, like a barbershop or an interior designer. We're going to use this LearnDash Academy one, though. I really like the way that this is laid out. From both a learning management system, course system, and even a membership site. This one is really great, and it's free. It does kind of take us some setup to get it off of LearnDash, but we can go through and fix that. So I'm going to go ahead and click Import Complete Site. It's going to warn us and just say, hey, you need to have these LearnDash plugins installed. All we have to do is click Skip and Import. And I don't think I have a previously imported site, but if I do, I'm going to go ahead and delete that as well. And then I want to install all of the customizer settings, the content, the widgets, everything. So I can get as much of this site as possible. And what we're going to do here is it's going to install. So it's going to go through, it's going to say, okay, I need Beaver Builder. I need, I think it needs a form plugin. It's going to import all of the content, so all the images, all the text. It's going to import all of these colors and these page templates. So depending on how fast your server is, this could take a couple of minutes to 10 minutes. It's also installing WooCommerce and cart flows, and I don't need those, so we're going to clean up some stuff after we get this installed. I mainly want to have a full working site, and that's why I'm installing everything here in this step. So looks like we're about 60% of the way through importing content. So it's moving along pretty quickly here. All right, so it's now imported. We can view the site. And you can see it's all, it looks really nice. There is a section right here that doesn't load because it's using LearnDash. So we're going to have to kind of solve and fix that. Same with my account. It's also using some LearnDash items, and we're not using LearnDash here. So we will need to fix those as well. So let's go back into the admin and let's turn some stuff off because we don't actually need everything that it installed. We don't need cart flows, and we don't need WooCommerce. So we'll go ahead and deactivate those. And then as good stewards of website building, we're going to go ahead and delete those plugins because we have no intention of using them. So that leaves us with the Beaver Builder plugin, and we have the light version. The light version is free. This is available on WordPress.org, which is why that got installed. We have the light version of Ultimate Add-Ons for Beaver Builder. This is a plugin that you'll notice Brainstorm Force here and Brainstorm Force here. So the same developer of the starter templates has their own Beaver Builder add-on. So you can see that there. And then you'll have WP Forms Lite. So a form plugin and a light version of it to really just kind of create a contact form for you. If you already have some plugins and maybe you're not starting from scratch, you could deactivate WP Forms Lite and put in your own form plugin, but if you're new and this is kind of your first foray into starting a site, you can use what you've got here. So I really appreciate the way that the starter templates work in really just kind of getting you a site built. All right, so there's a few things that we need to do with our site to kind of fix some pieces up. And the first thing I want to do is I want to go to Pages and show you that what was really nice about Restrict Content Pro when I installed it, and I installed it before going live here, just because I didn't want to go through and activate it and put my license key in and go through all of that step. Just was trying to make it a little bit faster. But one of the things I did want to show you that Restrict Content Pro does is it's going to pre-install a number of pages, and then it's going to assign those pages into Restrict Content Pro. So if you look at, say, this welcome page, if we click Edit for a moment, you will see that it's got some text in here. It's using the classic block. If we go back to the dashboard and we go over to like this account page, your membership, you will see it has a shortcode called subscription details. And if you view this page, it would show, some table, and it would output some information about your membership, any invoices that you've had, all of that. Well, this is the same type of content that would have shown up on this My Account page. So we can remove these LearnDash elements here, these shortcodes, and put in this shortcode. So let me copy that. I'm going to go over here, and this is a Beaver Builder page, so we'll edit it with Beaver Builder. And I'm not going to go through the tutorial or kind of the walkthrough on the Beaver Builder editor, other than to just kind of say this is how you remove a module. I want to edit this to this subscription details, click Save. You'll see that comes out, and that's all right here. So we're going to go ahead and say Done and Publish. And now when you click on My Account, that content shows up. So the last thing that we need to do is go back out here, and you'll see how this has like an account page. We need to go into Restrict Content Pro. We need to go to Settings, and if I scroll down to try to get rid of my license key a second, I need to just re-show where my account page is. So our account page is actually that My Account. That's the one I just made that change to. So we'll go ahead and update that. Now I could go ahead and update some of these other ones as well, but I don't need to. The main one that I wanted to do, especially with the way that this site is built, is the My Account is kind of where you would see this data. So all I want to do is worry about that one right now. So we're going to go ahead and click Save Options, and our options are now saved. So let's go back to the home page on the front end here, and we had one more LearnDash shortcode that we needed to remove. So we can remove this, and before we remove this, I want to put a pricing table in here. And that is to also change kind of courses to membership. So again, we can use Beaver Builder. You can go in here, load this up. I'm going to change view courses to view membership, and we'll just leave it at that. But you could put a link if you had a specific page, or if you wanted it to kind of, you click on this and it scrolls down to this section here. You could have it scroll, right? So we could do that. I'm not going to in this But if you do have questions on that, let me know. So view, I'll say our most popular membership. We'll leave all the lorem ipsum text in there just for the fun of it. Now, before I remove this, I want to add a pricing table here. So I'm going to click on this plus icon, and we are going to put in a pricing table. So let's see what we have. Do we have a pricing table with the free version? We do not. All right, so we don't have it with standard modules. Let's try the UABB one, and it looks like we don't have pricing there either. So I guess what we'll do is we'll build our own. This will be a fun experiment. So we're going to use the UABB modules, and I'm going to give it, I'm actually going to do it a little bit different. So I'm going to add a button. I'm going to add a button right underneath this section, and I'm going to say join now. And we're going to have to put a link in here, but I'll show you what that link is in a few moments. I do want to change the style though, because I don't like the gray on gray. So I want to use the blue as a background color. We'll see if they put it in here. So they have added the color, so we can do either the dark or a light. I'm going to use the lighter. I think that probably looks okay. We need to add the text color to white, so we'll go ahead and do that. We need to add a hover. So hover, I'll go ahead and do that dark, the darker blue there, and the hover color will make white. We'll just set that just in case something else about the theme doesn't like that. So we've got that all set up, and I'm good with where that's at. I'm good to delete this now, so we'll go ahead and remove it. And we need to add a price, because we kind of need to talk about this section and really show what the price is for it. So I'm going to add a heading. I'm going to add it between the text and the button, and we'll just call it 99. We'll remove some of the margin on the bottom, and I'll kind of shrink up. Actually, we'll just get rid of it on the top as well. I guess an H3 works. This isn't going to be very semantic, but it works for what I'm trying to do. We will go ahead and give it a size of like 45. That looks good. And we'll go ahead and save it. So the last thing I want to do is look here and probably get rid of some spacing. I was really trying to get those really close together. That works. I might also make the text be a little bit bigger. So if you go to typography and font, then go to size, 22 looks okay. So there's that. We'll go ahead and click done, and we've got the basic layout and kind of the basic process going. I need to remove all courses from this area, and to do that we can go into the dashboard. So let me go into the dashboard, go to appearance and menus, and we'll just go ahead and remove the all courses page. So we remove that, and now we're kind of looking a little bit better. All right, so now we can get into Restrict Content Pro, and the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to Settings, and we need to go to Payments. Now I've already set this up. I'm just going to kind of walk through this, but when you install Restrict Content Pro and you're just installing that, you're going to have a number of gateways kind of built into the core of Restrict Content Pro. So you can use the PayPal Standard, Express, or Pro options. You could use Stripe, to Checkout, or Braintree. I've gone ahead and set up my Stripe account and am using the sandbox mode so that I could, if I wanted to, try to purchase this membership towards the end of the video. We'll see how far we get. So that's kind of where that is going. You also have a number of options down here. So you've got your Stripe settings, you have your PayPal settings. So these are all API keys and usernames and passwords and signatures that you need to go through and add. This is not covering that. There's plenty of documentation links. You can click on this, for example, and see what you need to do to set up your PayPal Sandbox account and even set up other payment gateways as you go through it. So Restrict Content Pro does have a ton of documentation and really walks you through the step-by-step process of how to do some of those. So you have all of that. You've got your Braintree. You can save your options when you're good to go. I want to walk through a few more settings really quick with you. So you have emails, and there is a option for plain text only emails, or you can do a default template. The default template looks pretty good. You can give it a header, you can update your logo, you can put your from name, your email. You can also add an admin notification email. So typically those are probably going to be not the same. They could be the same, but you might put something like, we use updates@ithemes.com as our email that we send out all of our email marketing from. You could use something, invoices or receipts or something like that as well. And you do want to make sure that if you are using an email address here, that it's actually a valid email address. Years ago, people would say, oh, don't worry about putting a valid email on there. But people reply more often than you think to your emails, especially your invoice emails and your receipt emails. And so you really want to have that be a valid email address. So if you don't know how to create email addresses, especially on your own domain, but maybe you have one set up, it might be worthwhile just leaving this email as the email that you have. So I'm going to leave those, both the from email and the admin notification email, because this is the email I use primarily. If you want the email verification on, you can turn this on. And basically what this does is you send out a verification email before you can give access to a customer or a new member to the site. So if you want something like that, you can turn this on. Otherwise, you can do verification. I'm going to leave this off just because I want to kind of fly through it. You have a ton of template tags. Take a look through those to see what tags you can use in emails. And then you have all of your emails. So your paid membership activation email is right here. You've got a few options for it, basically your subject and your body. And then you can send or preview an email. So if you want to preview it, this is what it's going to look like. If you upload a logo and you add and make some change settings like this and this, these will get updated. I'm not going through and updating anything, but it would show in there. So you've got all of your emails in here. Read through these and see what they are. You can disable admin notifications, or you can disable that email altogether. This is a free membership activation email, for example, trial, and so forth. So tons of emails in here. You can even set up renewal reminder emails By default, there's one, but you could add other reminders that go out. Here's a payment received email and a renewal failed email. So those are your emails, and that's where you can set those all up. You do have invoices that go out, so you can update and include your logo and all that contact information for your invoices right here. And then under miscellaneous, there's some extra things with, like, do you want to hide restricted posts from queries so that it doesn't affect RSS feeds if you're doing any type of maybe private blogging or membership blogging. You do have that as an option. And then you've got a couple other options to redirect the default login URL. You can also add auto add users to a level. I ignore this section for the most part because it's not set up yet, and so we can't actually do anything here. You do have this is probably the most important one. Think of Netflix or Hulu, for example. When you buy Netflix or Hulu, you only get so many simultaneous connections. As you're sitting in your house right now, you probably have a couple of kids trying to watch Netflix or Hulu, and if you are trying to watch it, and you're all trying to watch something different, and you get a little error message, that's simultaneous connections. And so what you can do with your membership is you can set up the number of connections, simultaneous connections that a member could have. So if you don't want to have an account be shared among 20 people or 30 people, you can put a number in here. So you could say 2. This way it works with like a simultaneous connection on your laptop and maybe your tablet or something like that. Or you could just do 1 and it's 1 connection per member. If you don't want to limit that though, you want to leave it unlimited, you can leave it at 0. In most of the membership sites I've created with Restrict Content Pro, I've left it at 1. So I'm going to go ahead and set it to 1 here. You do have the option to disable the toolbar, disable form CSS. This is checked typically by default, and this allows the form to then be styled by your theme. You can add an agree to terms checkbox to your registration form, and you can set the label. You can even set the link to your terms page or your privacy policy. So these 2 sections here are going to be for terms and privacy policy. You have a reCAPTCHA setting, and then you've kind of got debug mode and beta versions and a way to uninstall everything that Restrict Content Pro does when you uninstall Restrict Content Pro. So those are the settings. Pretty simple, pretty hopefully self-explanatory in most of those. And at this point, we're ready to start creating what we call membership levels. So if you go over to membership levels, you're going to see a table, and this is where your membership levels would show up. If you have any. We don't have any yet, so we have to add one. And we'll go ahead and add a simple level. We'll just call it gold. And we can give it a description. The only level we're offering today. Hopefully something better than what I'm putting in here, but you get the point. This access level, to be honest, I have never used this, never understood this, so I'm just going to leave it as none. It's essentially just 1 through 10, and there's a way to set things up accordingly on that. Check out the bubble if you want more information. You do need to set a duration for your membership, so typically I set them for 1 year. And they renew by default, so you can leave. Maximum renewals are until canceled. If you wanted to offer a trial period, you do have that option right here, so you can set the free trial duration to say maybe it's 14 days or 10 days or 5 days or whatever. You can fill that out. You even have the ability to do months and year. So if you really wanted to be gracious and do a full free year trial, you have that as an option. Then you set the price. So we set our price earlier at $99. So we're going to go ahead and put that in here. If you want to charge a sign-up fee, certain membership models might have a sign-up fee, so you could put that in here. Say a $25 membership fee or a one-time, $250 fee or something. You could put that in, and it would charge accordingly. The sign-up fee would also only do it on that first billing cycle, so it would charge the $250 plus the $99 to get you your total. Then it's going to go ahead and go away on the subsequent charges. It'll just be the $99. You have a status, so you want it to be active since it's our first one that we're creating. However, you could maybe you change membership model plans, or maybe you change plans altogether. You could make a status be inactive. You still have the membership level around, but you might make it go inactive. So that's why there's a status option. Then the final thing is setting a user role. This is kind of the WordPress role that you have. So unfortunately, the customer and shop manager roles existed now because I installed WooCommerce. But subscriber in 9 out of 10 instances is going to be perfect for you. So you can just leave that there. Go ahead and click Add Membership Level now, and you'll see our membership level has been added. You can add multiple levels, so you could add like a VIP level or something like that as well, if that was something that you wanted to do. I'm just doing one today in this kind of webinar or this Facebook Live, so we'll leave it at that. The next thing that we want to do is we want to set up our pages to be restricted access. Most of the time when I'm doing a membership site, and in this case, this site is a simple, you either have access or you don't. I want it to default to you don't have access to something. And so you have that ability right here under Pages and Restrict Access. You can say, you can select who should have access to this content. So members of specific membership levels. So we want to say Gold. And require members to have capabilities from this user role. I'll just leave that as any. And basically now what happens is I'm logged in, so it's still going to show. This page, for example, still shows. Let me see if there is a way in Facebook Live to show an inactive. Or to switch my screen. It does not look like it. Let's see. So it doesn't allow me to show it, but if you happen to access that page, you will see a little error message up at the top that says, sorry, but you need to purchase a membership plan to access the content. And so what we need to do is we need to go in here to Edit Page, because we do want people to access this page. You need to scroll down here, and we want to change the restriction of a page. And we have a couple of options here. We can go into additional options where we show excerpt to members without access to this content, or we can remove the default setting that I changed. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll just say everyone. and we can go back and restrict content a little bit differently. So this is early morning for me, so I apologize. Going through my notes here, I ran the wrong way. So if we want to protect a page, which is really what we're trying to do, we're going to go to Add New. This is now called a protected page. Scroll down, and we're going to block it. They have to have a membership level of gold, or we could just say any membership level, and we publish this. We will see this here, but if you happen to go to protected page, if you go to it on your browser, you should be okay. If I go to it in an incognito window, I basically get a little text right here that just says, sorry, but you need to purchase a membership plan to access the content. That's what we want, right? Is we're trying to block, if somebody were to use this URL and give it to Adam or whoever else is watching, right? I don't want them to have access to the page. I want them to create an account and sign up for a membership. All right, so that's how we start to restrict pages. You can do posts as well. You can do custom post types. So if you create a custom post type in here, or you do something else, where you want to restrict content and restrict access to membership levels, you can go in. You'll see that here under posts and restrict access, same as pages and restrict access. It's not going to do comments or forms, but it will do other custom post types. So that's how you restrict content. The last thing that we need to do is we need to link up our Join Now button with a link to register for an account. So if we go back to our admin and we go down to restrict and we go to membership levels, we need to make note of this ID, and you'll see it says ID 2. Okay, so now that it says ID 2, we're going to remember that. We're going to go over to the documentation. I want to show you where this is at so you can reference this later. If we type in shortcodes, you're going to get all sorts of shortcode options, right? And if you go down to creating membership levels, there should be a shortcode. Looks like they moved it. All right. Give me 1 second to find it. We can use the register form shortcode with Stripe, but if we go to shortcodes here, this is a better option for us. So we want a registration form, and we need this. We need to make note of that ID. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to also make note that we need to add the ID here. And we can do that on our registration page. So here's our register page. If we edit this, we'll see that we already have that registration form. So we could just add ID equals 2, because we're only going to offer one membership plan, membership level. So we can update that. Once we've updated it, I'm going to copy this link address. And on the front end, we're going to now join and get into Beaver Builder here. Scroll on down. Going to go to the general. We're going to take that link. We're going to paste in what we just copied, which is that register page. Go ahead and click save. I'm going to go ahead and also do that up here on this view membership. And we'll just link both of these buttons to the registration page. We'll click done, we'll click publish. And now when we click on one, we're going to get into a registration page. So this piece right here is just saying that we're in test mode. So you can use this card to go through and fill this out. But you will see that you kind of have everything created. We had a 14-day trial. So nothing is due today, but in 14 days we're going to get charged that $99 fee. So you can go ahead and fill this all out. I'm logged in, so let's log out and look at this, because the form is going to change. So the form's going to have, hey, here's some username, email, first and last name, personal contact information you need to fill out. You're going to then see your data right here of what you're purchasing, and then you can see the card and the credit card information. So this is that form. It doesn't look super great right now, right? Because the theme is set up for LearnDash. So we would need to go in and maybe put some CSS in here just to kind of make this look a little bit better. Let's actually do a test, and let me see if I can get this logged back in. We're going to go ahead and make a change to Restrict Content Pro. So we're going to go to Settings, and I think it was under Miscellaneous. There was an option to disable form CSS. So we're going to uncheck this. We're going to save our options, and then let's log out. So now if I refresh, we get a little bit better of a form. We don't have this, we don't have a weird border and kind of things on there. This is still a table, it still shows okay, and the credit card looks a little bit better. We're going to want to probably put some more CSS to this, but for now this works. So we could go in, fill out a username. I'm not going to care too much about the password, so we'll just fill it in. We need to do this, so card number, we could, if you're using LastPass at this point, you could add your username and password. I'm going to ignore that. Go ahead and click register. This is going to go, and fingers crossed that I set up Stripe correctly. There we go. So now we are logged in. Click not now. I don't worry about that. So this is the welcome page. We can put whatever content we want here. But if you click on my account, you will see that you now have a gold membership. It's active. It's good until April 24th. The reason it's the 24th is because I'm currently in that 14-day trial window. I could cancel my membership or update my payment method. So if I wanted to update that, I could come in here and add a new card. So there's all that capability already in here to do. And now I'm ready to go, right? I could go and access pages that are membership-only pages, and that's really where I want to stop because everything else gets very specific into the type of membership site that you're creating. So since we have a few people on live, Facebook Live right now, what questions do you have about Restrict Content Pro. Did you like this? Did you not like this? Was it easy to use? Those are my starting questions I have for you. But let me know what questions you have. Any questions? No? Not seen any yet, but I know it does take a few moments to kind of pop up on my side, so I'm giving you a few seconds here. One of the reasons I really like Restrict Content Pro is it's built by a developer. It's built for developers. There's a ton of hooks and filters and all of that you can add in to really kind of customize RCP to your liking. It's great in that. There's a number of add-ons that you can use. I didn't want to get into covering any of the add-ons, but some things that I would probably add to RCP and definitely get in on the back end would be things like adding in an email marketing solution, so sending customers over to MailChimp or putting them into ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit, depending on what you're using. I know some people really like Authorize.net, so you could always add the Authorize.net add-on and use that as a payment gateway. RCP has a really good integration with MailChimp. That's one I favor, having used MailChimp for years, and that's what we use here at iThemes. And so you can always use that to really connect to your store. RCP's MailChimp Pro version, which is available in it's available in the professional or ultimate versions, the Pro add-on. You do get capabilities where you can see what people purchased and it reports back into MailChimp. So that's really handy, useful information on that side as well. So, all right, well, I'm not seeing any questions. The last thing I wanted to show really quick was just a discount. Was the ability to add a discount if you wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and log back in. And if you go to Restrict down here and you go to Discount Codes, you can add your discount code. So you can give it a name. So the name would be like 35% off, running through April 30th. And then this is the code. So you could just say 35 off or off. You want to give it a type of percentage. Since I'm already going that route of 35% off, but you could do a flat amount. So percentage, we'll say 35. Do you want it to be a one-time or do you want it to be all the time? If it is a one-time discount, you can't use it with a free trial discount. So. So that is kind of a downfall to the one time. You then have your membership levels, so you can limit if you have multiple membership levels available on your site. You could limit a discount to certain membership levels. You can set an expiration date and then the max number of times a discount could be used. So that's kind of gets you how you can create discount codes. That is really where I want to end. So with that, thank you for joining me. The folks that did join, it looks like we've got 2 people left. I think at one time I saw 7, so great. Glad to see you join. Watch the replay. If you have questions, shoot a comment on the video, and I will get back to you. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you potentially this afternoon.